Okay guys, so recently I just got back from watching Disney's latest movie, Wish, and I'm just going to start off by saying this. This movie is really, really amazing. So what is this movie mainly about anyway? Well, the movie mainly focuses around this young girl named Asha as she enjoys her life in this kingdom that I cannot remember the name of. And she is hoping that one of these magical spirits called witches would make her family and friends happy. But King Magnifico, this guy basically wanted to keep all the witches to himself. So Asha goes throughout the entire movie to team up with this wishing star to stop him. Okay, now that I seem to talk about the plot, I have a genuine question to ask. Why do so many people hate this movie? Because from what I remember when I saw this movie, I've been hearing that so many people in the audience were having a good time with this movie. I'm not even making this up, because most of the people out there in my theater were constantly laughing at some of the clever jokes. And by the time this movie came to a conclusion, all of us started clapping. I know this is going to sound crazy for me saying this, but I actually really do enjoy King Magnifico's song. This is the thanks I get. You can say what you want about this movie having a really horrible soundtrack, but in my opinion, the soundtrack of this movie is top tier, quality, peak music. I mean, it's not really the greatest villain song that I've ever heard in my life comparing it to other Disney villain songs. Like Be Prepared from The Lion King, Mother Knows Best from Tangled, Poor Unfortunate Souls from The Little Mermaid, and Second Rate from Aladdin. And let's not forget about Friends on the Other Side from The Princess and the Frog. But for me, I actually really do enjoy this song, and I thought it was really decent. Plus, the animation in this movie looks really phenomenal. I like how the entire movie is basically a mix between 2D and 3D animation to make it look like a storybook. Like in both of those Spider-Verse movies, which I also love. However, I've been seeing so many complaints about people saying that this movie looks really unfinished. What do you mean unfinished? Ever since the beginning of time, Disney was always having this really beautiful looking type of animation, so where have you been? Were you living under a rock or something? I honestly don't think there's nothing wrong with how this movie looks. If you have a problem with how the characters look in this movie, then you definitely have a problem with how the characters look in the Mona. Because that movie definitely looks like it was unfinished. I'm just kidding, I still love that movie. I also like how the witching star reminds me so much of the suicidal Luma from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I also like how Asha is friends with these guys considering the fact that there are all 7 of them, which reminds me that this is coming from the same exact studio that's going to bring us that live-action god-awful Snow White movie, starring one of my most hateable actors of all time, Rachel Zegler.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
Man, shut the fuck.
Okay, so what else do I like about this movie? I always love Valentino. He always has some really funny lines here and there, and he's basically one of the best characters in this entire movie. So in conclusion, Wish came out 3 days ago, and if you haven't seen it yet, watch it right now. It's really good. And there's absolutely nothing wrong about this movie that would make you act so mean to it. I swear, if you're one of those people who didn't even like this movie, then you definitely have a problem with a bunch of woke stuff. Because nothing about this movie is woke. So that's pretty much all I gotta say here. Like I said, if you haven't seen Wish yet, go and watch it right now and form your own opinion about it. So, see you later. And I totally forgot to give this movie a rating. I would have to give it a 98 out of 10.